Did my last one was the Superman. But anyway, I'm gonna go through this the quickest, see if they're on some bullshit or not. I've heard of the show, but I couldn't tell you nothing about it. I guess we can give them that. Okay? Okay? I hate dry humor. The Office to me just always seemed like corny. I don't really laugh at none of the jokes. It's just kind of weak. I've seen a couple episodes. I've given a chuckle, and that's about it. This wouldn't even have been on my list. I rocked with Avatar heavy. Dope show. I always enjoyed it until we got the live action, and we'll just stop it right there. This is disrespectful. There's so many people, including myself, that will say this was one of the best animated series. Batman and X-Men right at the same mark. On a top 25, ranking that is 20? Yeah, they're bugging. Who made this? You put I Love Lucy before Batman? I never was a Trekkie until the movies. I'm not going to disrespect any of the Trekkies out there. You all can have that. I remember when this used to come on and I would watch the first 2 seconds of it and turn it off. Not into it. She was so bad in that. I rocked with Buffy. I wasn't a huge Buffy head. Buffy was pretty dope. But when they came out with Angel, Angel was my shit. I know I'm going to hear it, but Seinfeld was weak to me. I'm sorry, I know people love it. Seinfeld was just not my thing. Listen, the movie, fire. And then we were hit with the HBO series. And I'm not going to say that it was gold, but they stepped it up. You got to give it that respect. I enjoyed it so much. Being from where the movie left off to where we went, I appreciate it. Again, I'm not a big Trekkie fan, but I will say, after the movies came out, and I'm talking about the Chris Pine movies, like the newer ones. After watching those, I went back to watch these. And while I wasn't a huge fan, I appreciated these more. What the is Fleabag? Okay, I'll give you guys that. Another dry humor show that I couldn't get into. What is up with the disrespect in this list? Another gold show. You guys are ranking pretty low, I would think. But like, what Twilight Zone are we talking about? Are we talking about the old school black and white ones that were pretty good? Or are we talking about the newer ones? Also pretty good. Yeah, I guess I could say Twilight Zone was good, but it wasn't better than Game of Thrones. Another show that I always wanted to get into, and I just never sat down and watched it. So I can't even speak on it. But I was always interested in this. I always wanted to know what was the hype behind it because it looks pretty good. So maybe I'm going to have to jump into that and get back to you guys on what I think about it. Gold. Honestly, I'm not even mad at this one. Leave it at 6, or I could put it maybe down to 5. Yeah, that's pretty fair. Weird, twisted, mind of a show with all the weirdness and just crazy stuff with this show. I appreciate the show. I actually really like it. This is a kind of a hard one because as I'm not a huge X-Files fan, I like the X-Files, but on a top 25 list, I don't even know if I'd put it in there. Breaking Bad would either be number 1 or number 2 on my list. Pure gold. Such a good show. That is another show that is a masterpiece. This would either be the number 1 or number 2 spot. I don't care what no one says. I don't understand why it's here. Not a huge Simpsons fan, and I know there's diehard Simpsons fans, and for me, I just could never get into the Simpsons. I've definitely watched them, but I'm not a huge Simpsons fan, and I could not put it as number 2, but that's just me. And then we come to our number 1. Listen, amazing show. It was so good, so well put together. The characters, shout out to Baltimore, the look at the life, stories behind the characters. This was my shit. Like, this was my kind of show. I love The Wire. And with that being said, I wouldn't put it as number 1. IG's top 25 best shows. Who was putting this together? What were these people thinking? What did you guys think about it? This was like a bunch of shows that was thrown in the hat, and you guys just picked it out after and threw it up there. Like,